What's cooking, good lookings? Welcome to day 26, where today we are just going to be talking about what happens after the pitch and it's time to obviously drop the price for what we're selling. Okay, so as you can see, we're talking about dropping the price and closing the deal. Now, in this video, I just want to preface we're going to assume that this call that we're talking about has no objections, right? We're going to be talking about objection handling in maybe next video or the next two videos, right? For sure next video, but it might be two videos, depending on how much we want to go into depth on it. But yeah, to kind of recap, we've done all the heavy lifting up until this point, right? We've been building the trust, we've been uncovering the pain, we've been walking them through the solution that they want and the vision that they have for themselves, as well as uncovering what inaction looks like, right? Uncovering what happens if they don't do anything about their problem that is causing them a lot of grief and pain. And we've also pitched to them incredibly clearly, right? So now you're at the point where a lot of, especially new closers kind of start to get a bit scared, where you ask for money, quite simply. But here's the truth. When you've done everything right, this part is seamless, right? It should feel like the next natural step. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to transition into pricing and how to basically get them through the process entirely to make it feel collaborative, and to maintain that trust that we've worked very hard to build, right? And again, it's remembering that we are here to help them, right? We are here to provide them with a solution that solves their problems and provide them with a solution that is going to get them to their goals, simply. Okay? So, if you are selling something that can help them do that, it is your job to close them, right? Because otherwise, like I've said before, you're an asshole. So, what are we doing in this section, right? The close, it's simply about guiding someone who's already sold themselves, right? And all you're doing is you're getting them to make a committed decision. So we do a few things here. We confirm they believe that this can work for them. We let them speak it out loud, right? Explain, they need to close themselves basically and explain why what we do works so well. And then we just drop the price very cleanly with confidence. And yeah, I'll walk you kind of through everything shortly. Firstly, the transition, it's very simple. Once you finish pitching, right, so you've obviously done the pillars, right, the 3 steps or 5 steps, depending on how big your pitch is going to be, but no more than 5 steps. And you have kind of explained and answered the why and the how, like all the questions that they may have. You basically just want to end it with, okay, like, look, John, I don't really have any further questions for you. I feel like with everything we've spoken about today, I feel like you'd be a great fit for what we do. I definitely believe that we can get you from XYZ pain to desired state. Mentioning the emotion, most importantly, throughout the stage is key. And then it's about just simply asking, like, did everything I walk you through, does that structure, does that system, does that all make sense? We just need to get that okay, right? Because we don't want to drop the price before, if they have any questions, right? Because otherwise it's just going to be a bit of a mess. We're going to be going back and forth about a bunch of stuff, and we don't want to be doing that. We just want to be dropping the price and talking about, okay, how can we get started up until this point? Not how does it work or why does this happen or whatever. We want to get all those out the way. But if your pitch is done correctly, there should be 0 questions. It should be very straightforward and very simple. So that's how we transition, by simply saying they're a great fit, tying in back, looping back to their pain, their feelings, their solution, where they want to be, their desired state, and their feelings as well. Saying that we believe we can help them, obviously, if we can. And then it's about asking them simply, do they have any questions? If they don't have any questions, which, mostly, like I said, they won't, we go into then step 1, right? Which is locking in their belief. So Before we even talk the numbers, we want to confirm that they genuinely see the value and believe that what we have is right for them. So, for example, so based on everything that we've gone through, John, do you feel like what I just walked you through would actually get you to desired state? Right? Again, the people you'll be speaking with, they should all be saying yes. If you're speaking to anyone that's saying no, there's either miscommunication going on, or they shouldn't have been booked in the first place, right? Because that's how high ticket sales works. You're speaking to people who want what you have. So they'll say yes. Then you simply need to tie down. Why do you believe that? Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like this can help you get there? And the reason we do this is because we need them to explain, because it's extremely powerful what we're doing here. Basically, what we're doing here is they're verbalizing, they're talking about why what we're doing would work for them. They're basically reinforcing the belief, right? Not just to us, but most importantly to themselves. Like we have been saying, their words mean a lot more to them than yours do. So you've been talking about what you do for a little bit now with the pitch. It's time to really tie down, okay, do you actually believe that this can help you? Because if you don't, then like, why would I drop the price, right? It's clearly you don't see the value here. So now we need to kind of actually tie that down. And what they're basically doing is they're closing the sale on their own terms, because they're talking about how great it is that what we do, right? Then it's about dropping the price. So once they finish basically explaining why they believe in what we do, we're going to keep it super clean and direct. Okay, so the way this works is the total investment to get you from XYZ pain to desired state and feeling like XYZ is $5,000. How would you like to proceed? And then you stay silent, right? And the reason we do this is we need them to process it. A lot of people who you will be selling to won't have made an investment like this, especially potentially on a Zoom call. So you just need to let them process it. Like, it isn't a lot of money, but it's a good chunk of money, right? It's 4 figures, it's 5 figures that we're talking about here, right? It's not pocket change. It is like a good figure. So they need to process it. As soon as you drop the price, if you're justifying why the price is this way, if you're whatever it may be, don't. Just shut up, simply, right? You have to just let the price sink in so that they can actually just understand. Now, again, if you have done the whole process correctly, there is very little reaction that they can have, right? They might be a bit like taken aback by how much it is, but they will see the value in it. They'll understand it. They'll be like, it makes sense. Like, for example, if you're selling to businesses, you're helping them scale to 100K a month and you're charging them 10K, like, okay, like, that's pretty standard. If you're helping businesses, like there's this guy, I think we've spoken about it already. He helps businesses scale to $1 million a month. He charges 20K up front, and then you also need like 20K setup fees as well for like advertising costs, marketing costs, etc. And then it's also a revenue share, right? So there's a lot of costs involved in setting it up. But again, that is nothing. What, 50K to get to $1 million a month, right? That's what you're working on, and that's nothing, right? So it's the importance here is really just let them sit with the number, right? Don't explain every single thing again. Don't feel like you need to give them a discount, like whatever. The price is the price. Stop overthinking it. It's just a number, okay? Let them sit with the number, because this shows confidence, right? And confidence is key. The reason why, again, that we tell them that we think they'd be a great fit is because throughout objection handling, which we'll talk about in the next episode, there basically is this thing where prospects can believe that what you're doing works. They have the money, but the thing that is preventing them from buying is they don't believe that they can make it work. So we need to lead them. We need to be their leader and be like, look, dude, you can fucking do this, right? And we need to fill them with that confidence, instill them with that confidence by showing confidence ourselves, okay? It's something that you'll get used to, especially starting out. Like when I started out in sales, like I was definitely not as confident as I am now in myself and just in general. Sales is a very, very powerful, powerful tool to improve your confidence, your communication skills, etc. But anyway, most prospects just need a few seconds to think. And pretty much the ones who are ready will be like, cool, how do we get started, right? Like, do we do it today? Like, how do we do payment, right? And basically, step 3, you take payment on the call, right? We want to move quick, right? Once you get the yes, you go. The reason for this is you can get, there's a bunch of different things that come up, but you always collect payment on the call because that's just how everything runs. We want to move with speed to get them to their goals. If we're going to, we don't do any procrastinating, right? That sets a very bad tone for a working relationship. Oh, you want to start working with us? Okay, cool. Well, we'll just collect payment in like a week, and then we'll get started a week after that. No, we get the ball rolling here. This is how we do things here, okay? So basically, there's a few ways you can handle payment. You can either basically like just have like a payment link up on your screen, and you fill out the thing with their card details, like you walk them through it. So like, okay, cool, amazing, John, can I just get the 16-digit card number? Amazing. And can I also get the expiry date, the CVC, postcode, whatever, right? Zip code for you Americans. But pretty much that's one way you can do it. You can collect it like that, or you can create the payment link or have the payment link and drop it in the Zoom chat or the Google Meet chat or whatever. And then you basically just wait, right? People have preferences for different reasons. I've done both. I've collected it with card payment, and I've also collected it by just sending them the link. It's pretty much the same either way. So what I'll say is, yeah, make sure that we get the payment on the call. And then once they've paid, you basically say, perfect, that's gone through, and you move on to the onboarding. And the onboarding we're going to keep super simple. Now, I can't give you an exact training for onboarding because every company is different. Every company will have different onboarding rules and whatever. Onboarding, for those that don't know what that means, it's like I'm bringing you on board to become part of the company. It's pretty self-explanatory. But all we're doing here, it would depend on the company. Like maybe you need to send them a link to like fill out their information and book them into a call. I've had, onboarding sessions where I've had to onboard them into like a community. I've had to onboard them into a one-on-one call. I've had to then set up their private channels. I've had to do a lot, and onboarding can take like, I don't know, 10 minutes. I've also had, closing roles where onboarding has taken like a couple minutes, where I just collect the money, send the contract, they sign it on like apps like DocuSign or PandaDoc, and then quite simply I basically send them a form, and that onboarding form is for them to fill out and work through. It will basically get them to fill out details of themselves, their business, and then there'll be like a link of some next steps, for example. It depends on the business again, but what I will say is the best businesses have very good onboarding processes and steps. And yeah, throughout the entire kind of call, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like all we're doing here is we're just making sure to tie down the belief, right? So we don't want to, basically there's this thing called buyer's remorse, where someone can buy something and then they can get hesitation about it. They can be like, oh shit, I don't know if that was a good idea, I don't know this. So we want to fight that immediately. We want to provide them with value, and that's why it's super important to have a very good onboarding process where they feel, like this is a good decision that they've made, right? We want to basically make them feel like it's the best decision ever. Because if you don't, then they might be like, oh, I don't feel good about this, and and that's not what you want, right? Because it happens. It's just human psychology, right? People get in their own heads all the time. So simply, what we are doing here is Oh, and something else that I want to say about the onboarding process and in general as well. Let's say you're selling something, um, and someone asks you questions about onboarding or whatever it may be. It might even be about what you're selling. If you do not know the answer, do not, for the love of God, please, do not like fake an answer. Do not pretend like you know the answer. Like if you do not know the answer, say, look, I don't want to actually give you a wrong answer on that. So what I'm going to do is like, I'll check in with the team and I'll get that to you shortly. Honesty builds trust. If at whatever point they feel like they cannot trust you, then that credibility and that trust in you goes down, and therefore that trust in them buying from you goes down as well. Okay? If you don't know, admit it. Right? There's nothing wrong with not knowing. Right? It's not the end of the world. Then you'll know the answer because you'll have got it from the team, and so then when you next get asked that question, you'll know because you'll have the answer on your phone. Right? So, basically, why does this work? Quite simply. So again, we're anchoring the belief, making sure that there's no buyer's remorse, making sure that they are actually in full belief. They see the value in what we do. Because, yeah, if they don't see the value, why would we sell them? Makes no point. Zero sense. Again, they're talking about why they believe it's great, and they're selling it themselves. Then we drop the price with certainty, confidence, and then we just stay in control of the onboarding. We make it easy for them to follow through, and all we're doing is we're providing them with clarity. Right? That's all you're doing. The entire process. That's all you're doing. And when you do this right, it doesn't feel transactional. It feels like the start of something real. Like the best closes that I've done, I've actually like met up with them in real life after, like real life people that I've closed. So like I've taken, I remember this, like, and also clients of ours actually have closed deals and then they get a thank you for it, right? I'm actually going to show you a video because it's actually so dope.
18, yeah, appreciate it, man. Worries, bro. That's good. Dude, thank you so much, Daniel. You're a killer closer. You've got it all down. I wouldn't change anything. You've got it, man. They're lucky to have you. Super talented guy. I can see it in you. I can see that you also just enjoy what you do and you want to help people. So I just wanted to give you that compliment, man. Super grateful to just be part of your journey in this way, and I'm really excited to share some success with you.
See, that is why we do this, right? I moved inside because connection wasn't great outside, but this is why we do this, right? When you lock in the belief, you confirm that belief, you will end up like this whole part. It doesn't feel transactional, right? When you do everything right, it feels like a conversation, because at the end of the day, you are here to help people, and that is the reaction that you will get from people after they just wire you 10 grand, right? Someone wires you 10 grand, and that's the reaction. That's amazing. And that's what we want. All right? So we stay in control. We drop the price with confidence. We confirm the belief. And we never force. We guide and we lead. All right? That's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some objection handling. Come on.